I bought my first house at 20 years old in the year of 2023. You all have questions, I have answers, and I'm gonna try to answer as many of those for you today. Vlog style, but of course. As I get ready for the day, I thought I could answer probably some of the most, I would like the top 3 questions I get asked or I have been asked since buying a house. One of the most asked questions I honestly get right now, as I've been in the house for 2 years, is how did I know I was ready to become a homeowner? And I feel like it definitely wasn't a feeling. My pockets definitely spoke for me on this one. I knew I was ready because I did not want to pay rent that cost more than a mortgage would cost. So knowing that I can get a mortgage for a lot cheaper than a 2-bed, 2-bath, or like 3-bed, 2-bath that I wanted to get after my first apartment, which was a 1-bed, 1-bath. Knowing that that would have been more expensive than a mortgage really just blew me entirely. So I knew it was time to get a house. First of many money questions of today. How long was I saving up for a down payment, or the down payment? I actually have been saving money literally since high school. I was always raised to save money even though you don't necessarily know what it's for yet. So by the time I had got my house, and I got my house in 2023, since like 2018, 2019, 4 or 5 years at that point. I don't know who needs to hear this, but just because you don't have anything to save towards just yet, you should always be putting money away. And quite frankly, that's something I think a lot more people should live by. Don't just save when you have something to work towards. Save if you have the opportunity to. You never know what can come up, because if I wasn't saving for essentially no reason, I wouldn't have been able to get my house and put down as much as I put down, which we will discuss later. I actually got a really interesting question of how did I pick my house out of seeing the many? And I'm just gonna say right now, there is a reason you all did not get a house hunting vlog. This was the first house that I had seen ever. I knew where I wanted to live. I knew what would work. I knew what I wanted. And I think what made my search so easy was because I was really not willing to sacrifice any of my wants, considering how much money I put into my home when it was built, the appliances, everything. So this was actually the first house that I looked at, and I didn't look at anything after this. I'm a girl who knows what she wants. What can I say? Really have been liking this Trader Joe's green juice. It has banana, mango, kiwi, apple, pineapple, green food, and it's really good. If you need a washout, this might be for you. I don't know. Cooking in my kitchen, I had realized that somebody asked me, is there any major projects that I had to do in my home? And I haven't had to do any necessarily by like demand because I needed it. I opted into by choice to completely redo my kitchen. If you're new here, when I first moved in here, this was what my kitchen looks like. And then of course, this is what my kitchen looks like now. It's green, it's more me, it's fun, it's vibrant. Really wanted to redo it just because I felt like the gray cabinets, or just like gray cabinets in general, really cooled down and almost sterilize the space. That's like the biggest thing I've had to do. And then like something that I had to do that was small in my opinion was like get a new washer and dryer, but that's not like a project. I was also asked the amazing question, how do you budget if you know you want to upgrade / renovate parts of your home? And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I would get several quotes from companies to see which one matches your budget and also which one matches your expectations, because just because something is more expensive doesn't necessarily mean it is the best thing for you and your personal home reno. How to save money when decorating and remodeling. Y'all know I love a good DIY, but sometimes projects are just too big for us as individuals to handle. We need professionals. So I would say the best thing to do when it comes to saving money when decorating specifically is shop secondhand. Facebook Marketplace is always gonna be it. And then when it comes to remodeling, if you want to save some money, you need to have like a strict, sorry I keep touching my hair, you need to have like a strict budget of what you are and not willing to spend when it comes to decorating and remodeling, just because I don't think you'll understand. America is a fraud. Everything is so expensive. So if you're looking at wholesale stuff or looking at sourcing from another country, maybe definitely just look at all your options and set that strict budget and do things such as add stuff and take stuff out of what you want to do over time in order to save some money, because house renovations get expensive. I don't think I ever said how much my kitchen was. I know it wasn't over $4,000 though. For a whole kitchen that size, that's actually really good. And then finally, how do you know what to splurge on versus, you know, like save some money, save some coin on? I think you know what to splurge on versus spend money is what brings you comfort and what makes your life easy. It's just some things you shouldn't cheap out on. Everything has a price that works for everybody. I always splurge on like bedding, appliances. I also really like to splurge on entertainment and personal decor. Things you can pass on is like towels, things like that, but not sheets, towels. I definitely also think you can like save a little money on glassware if that's your type of thing. And then yeah, there's definitely workarounds for everything though. Recession indicator. I think the last time I confidently wore wired headphones was probably in about high school. And for those youngins, yeah, I graduated high school in 2020. I have brought the wires back because if I have an amazing wash day like I did last night, obviously get into the hair, I don't want to have to part and style my hair for headphones, and I'm at home and sometimes I don't want to speak here because I want to feel the bass in my body. Happy medium, wires. And of course I do the very high school thing to do, and I tuck the wire behind my shirt or my hoodie, whatever I'm wearing. Also, I think this is my Jean Mugs debut on the channel, so everybody say hi Jean Mug. This is from Urban. I will link it down below. If you're new here, I collect a very few amount of things, one of those being mugs, another being vinyl. But mugs are like what really gets me going. I love my vinyl collection. I think it's beautiful. I think it's amazing. It screams me. But the mug collection, this is such a good like showcase of what is behind this cabinet. I will show you that at a later time, not in this video, because I can't let the girls know too much about me too quick. I have a sticky note with some money questions that I was asked, and I feel like as a community, as a people, we need to start being more open about money so we don't get blindsided, over and done dirty. So I'm gonna talk about money really quick. I usually don't like talk about money because I have this big fear that all my money is gonna disappear and I'm gonna go broke, or either that or somebody's gonna rob me. That's my biggest fear, but we're conquering it today in today's video. Okay, let's answer some questions. First question: explain the process of buying a home in very simple terms. Go look at house. If you like house, you apply to house. You tell them how much money you have. So you take however much the house costs minus how much you're paying down, and that is your mortgage. You're applying for that much with the bank. So when you go with that money, like that difference, that's how much the bank is spotting. That is the loan that you are getting. That is what a mortgage is. Okay, so a mortgage is you paying back the difference in which you didn't have for the house at the time. If they accept you, yay! Now it's time for the annoying part, which is paperwork. So this is called like the closing, and this is where you're learning all about how much your mortgage is gonna be, signing a bunch of things. Okay, like I can't even remember half the things I signed. Also, throughout this process, there'll be like house inspections and stuff like that, but the buying part is what they asked for. Process of getting approved for a mortgage. My personal approval thing was actually very simple. I actually applied by myself at first, but they were giving me an insane interest rate. I think my interest rate they were giving me was between like 5 and 8% because I was so young and I had good credit, which I'll talk about later, but I had good credit, but I was so young. So I actually went back and my mom applied with me and it brought my interest down. So she co-signed to get the interest down, and that helped a ton, like a ton. I think my interest was almost like split in half of whatever it was. And basically the interest is what you pay over time the longer you take to pay for something. It's just kind of inevitable. I'm not trying to pay 8% of my house price. I'm not. That's why I applied with my mom. She's actually the one that suggested it to make it easier. She helped me through that and it was very nice because it brought my interest down a lot. So shout out to her because I know she's watching this. Thank you, Diva. If you don't pay a house out in full, you're gonna have to take out a loan from the bank, which is your mortgage. And I'm always going to scream that to the roof house. Loans I took to help with the payment. I didn't apply for any special ones because I put up so much money, which we will go into detail later. It was a very simple process. I'm telling you, when you come with your money ready, people will take you seriously. I actually don't have lattes at home without a little bit of creamer, but I just realized all my creamer was expired. And this is actually really good. A little less sweet than I would like. I'm actually gonna go add a little bit more milk. I also have like a double shot today. So of course it's gonna be a little bit more tart, but I couldn't fit any more milk in my Nespresso like milk frother thing that I have. So of course I have to add some more. I will say one thing about this mug, drinking out of it is absolutely ridiculous. I have the double Dolce Nespresso pod. Chef's kiss, it's amazing. We're officially at 2 beverages. I never really understood why people had like 3 and 4 beverages at a time, but like I'm slowly turning into that. I want the savoriness of my coffee, the sweetness of my green juice, and I want the hydration of my water. It makes sense. I have a few errands to run today. When I say errands, this would be no home video if we didn't go to Home Depot. I have a few things that I have to buy that I've been procrastinating on and was like, I might as well bring y'all because it's getting to the point where I'm such a Home Depot frequent visitor. The workers be saying, hey, and what's up? How's that home project? How'd the painting go? I can't do that in my pajamas. Before anybody asks, these pajamas are from Cozy Earth. I love these pajamas. You know, green is basically my favorite color. Never beating the bisexual allegations. I will link these down below. Let's get some cuffs. Somebody actually asked me a very interesting question about not being taken seriously due to my age when it came to the home buying process. I was a little scared about them not taking me seriously due to the fact I was so young, but time and time again, we have been shown that money speaks for itself. When people come with money on the internet, do you question their decisions and what they've been doing? No. Same thing applies to when you have a house. Depends on who you're working with as well. I think the way I carried myself throughout my process of hunting and actually talking to the people, you know, looking them in the eye, shaking hands, asking questions, I think they just kind of figured out that I was serious, and it was very easy for them to figure that out. That I was serious about buying a house. I wasn't playing in their face, baby. I came money ready, check ready. Do you want it or not? Stop all that rah-rah. Take the check now. Short answer, no, I was not treated differently or I had any troubles because I was so young. Money ready, good manners, respectful, didn't waste anybody's time. I would respect that too. Not even being biased. I would kind of like seeing that too. Well, I am gonna put a bra on so I don't get harassed. So let's go to Home Depot. Just goes to show being anything owner costs money. I don't want to keep giving out my money, but I must. So, new car battery. Storm sounds like a Hellcat. I know you want to hear it. My car ain't sound like that. God knows how long. Now we can go to Home Depot. That's what I'm talking about. Hello chat, I'm here at Home Depot because I have to get light bulbs, water filter, air filter to get 120 volt. Oh, that's not, it's in watts. I think 40 should be fine. I don't know, maybe. Which part of it?
Video?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What's the video?
I own a home,
Okay.
and I'm like 22. So I make videos about owning a home in my 20s.
Oh.
Yeah, it's one to go. As I'm sitting here getting my air filters, I had somebody ask me the question, how was the loan approval process since you're so young? Was it hard and done differently? Like I said, have your money up and not your funny up and anybody will take you seriously. But it did have an impact on my interest and how much I was paying, which we talked about earlier. That's why I had my mom, or she offered to co-sign for me and get my interest down a little bit lower. That was the most chaotic Home Depot trip ever. I don't even know if I'm gonna use the footage from in the store because it was so chaotic. Between the overstimulating Home Depot visit, new car battery extravaganza, eleganza, I need a tree. Bad. Bad. I feel like this entire video, my hair has just looked insane, so I apologize for all the movement. Up here, it kind of just has a mind of its own, and y'all know this by now. If you have curly hair, you know this by now. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a haul of everything I got from Home Depot today because I did get everything I needed technically, but I did get some extra stuff that I didn't need technically. First things first, I already busted it up. We have a filter. Basically, these are the things that you put in your ceiling to filter out dust and stuff. Since I spend so much time at home and I do have a dust allergy and a pollen allergy, I got the one that was made for dust and pollen allergies. Did get my light bulbs that I needed. These are bright white. Since these are going in the kitchen, I would like a bright white. Also, for everybody who thinks that having a lot of lights costs a lot of money bill-wise, this is how much they cost per year. I randomly passed this when I was going in the store and I was awkwardly like setting my camera up. These are the Odo Ban Eliminates Odors Odor Absorber. This smells like fresh linen and it smells so good. This was so random, but I decided to get some Miracle Grow Liquid Feed all-purpose liquid plant food. You're supposed to give these to your plants like every 7 to 14 days. The reason I got these is because I got 2 new plants today. Starting with things I was not supposed to get, but I got technically. I got this super adorable Leaf Joy H2O bowl with a snowy morning plant in it. This thing is so cute. It didn't ring up. It's $20, so please don't think it's $20 because it's not. I'm thinking this could go in the hobby room because I have been thinking about putting plants in there, and you guys also agree because I got a few comments on my last homeowner diaries that a plant on that side table that I have up there would be really cute instead of the lamp, which is exactly what I wanted to do. I just couldn't find a plant to do it like in my vision. Look how cute this is in here. This could even go in here for real. Yeah, it really could. I ended up getting a thing of Lucky Bamboo. This is a house plant. Easy to grow, stylish. It's a upright plant, of course, because bamboo is pretty much always upright. Isn't this so cute? I love this. I've never had bamboo before because I'm just now starting to get into plants and everything like that. So I'm really having the time of my life. Finally, the thing that drained my pockets, this damn water filter. I was so mad at the store because I got this at Lowe's one time for like 15 bucks in another homeowner diaries, but I really did not feel like driving to Lowe's after going to Home Depot because I was overstimulated. I was ready to leave and I was just tired of being in stores. So I coughed up the $40 for this. This is actually the water filter that was in my fridge before I replaced it for the first time. So this is technically the OG, and this one has a 6-month filter life. The $14 one, $15 one that I got before is like a 3 months. This is like double the time. Well, when you put it like that, I wanted to show you all the paint samples I ended up getting because I did get those. So upstairs, my hobby podcast room, primarily podcast room, I want to paint something in there. I don't like builder grayish. I think it's really annoying and ugly and it has no personality. And it's good if you like a lot of color so you don't have too much to like work against in terms of contrast, but I thought it would be nice if we could paint up there eventually. So these are the colors I picked out. This is tornado season, and then we also have sophisticated teal. Then I got 3 browns. I have this color, which is hazel, and now that I'm kind of looking at it, it's kind of like, it's really warm, almost like a yellow brown. It almost looks golden on camera. I have Joshua Tree. This is pretty true to color on camera. If anything, it's a little bit darker than it is on camera. And then I also got Baked Sienna, and something tells me I feel like this is in my room. Actually, I don't think this is in my room. I think I was thinking about painting this wall Baked Sienna, but I went with something else. I usually don't know if I love a paint color until it's on the wall. So we're definitely gonna be putting up my money spread. We're gonna be putting up these samples today. While we're here, I thought I could answer a few household questions. Something that I got asked, which I thought was very interesting, are what are some of my household essentials? Off the top of my head, I really love these Threshold sheets. They are amazing. They're like a tie between silk and satin, so those are a must-have for bedding. I also really like the IKEA smart home light bulb system as an alternative to the Philips Hue light bulb system. And then also some okay filters as somebody with allergies. That's like my thing. I literally have to, or else I am suffering. A very interesting question that I was asked on Instagram, which is where I asked you guys to send me some questions, was if there was anything I could change in my house, what would it be? And I think it would have to be my cabinets. Not make all of them green, but I would love to do like a wood, like walnut, oak, wood cabinet one of these days to kind of liven up and just bring more earthy tones into the house. I would love to have a skylight somewhere in the house, and then I would also really like to have some sort of like sunroom situation, greenhouse attachment to the house. I have a townhome, so I can't really just up and build something on my land because not much of that, but that's kind of what I'd signed up for when I got a townhouse. Lots of glass, lots of light getting let in, and just kind of livening up the house a little bit more, you know? How did you get over the fear of moving from an apartment to a house? I think a lot of people overestimate how one may feel when moving into a house, and I wasn't scared of nothing. Like, there's nothing to be scared of. The only thing that could be like remotely scary is like security, but I have a security system and potentially something else y'all don't need to worry about to keep myself safe. No specific for me personally fear that came with moving into a house versus living in an apartment, because at the end of the day, the same consequences could happen, just like on a different scale. And then finally, somebody asked me, what's your biggest advice on moving out on your own, even if it's just an apartment? First of all, nothing is just anything. Moving out on your own as a whole is a big accomplishment and deal. My biggest advice for when it comes to moving out on your own is you're gonna learn a lot about yourself and you're going to change. So please allow yourself the room to grow into who you are as a person. You need to be able to be flexible with yourself, because if you don't, you're gonna box yourself in and then be miserable. Buy things slowly. If it looks like Temu would have it as a gadget, don't buy it. Allow yourself room to grow and give yourself some grace, okay? Not everybody's house is gonna be put together all the time. Everything's gonna be cutesy and everything's gonna be picked up perfectly. I would say like 80% of the time my house is messy. It's not picked up. It's not dirty. It's messy. There's just kind of stuff everywhere because I live here and I spend most of my time here, and that's fine. Like, it's fine. You're gonna learn your own routines. You're gonna learn what works for you, what doesn't work for you. You're gonna find out a lot about yourself living on your own. Instead of sitting and answering these questions, I'm gonna go ahead and start installing some of the new stuff that we got at Home Depot today. House improvement day. We need to do some improvements. Ain't no improvements been done yet. Like, we got a new car battery. We went to Home Depot. I haven't seen no improvements. We just been spending, no improvement. You see the problem? Cause I do. I had somebody ask me if YouTube money or the sponsorship money funded the house. And I thought that was so funny. I do social media full time, but brand deals are my biggest source of income by a landslide. YouTube usually pays the bills, and then sponsorships pays for the big things. Shout out to the sponsors if you support this channel in any way, shape, or form. Helping me get my life together, man. Cool? Let's see if it works. I hope it fucking works. Slay! I also was asked about my down payment. Yes, we're throwing numbers out. We're throwing numbers out. I put over $200,000 down. I don't want to say the exact number, but it was over $200,000. I'm debating on what side the accent wall should go on. I feel like behind the couch would be cute. I'm gonna use this point of reference for it. No, the painting still isn't hung. I thought I could command strip it. My dad said no, it'd fall down in the middle of the night and break my new bookshelf. So blue and orange on the opposite side of the color wheel. If you don't already use the color wheel for furniture, outfits, all of that, you definitely should. Makes a huge difference. That's the paints. I don't think I could go wrong with any of them. Now that I'm sitting here looking at it, I think I ate with all of them. So far, this one's my favorite. Right here, tomato season. And I didn't mean to put it up against the art, but what do you think? But all over. I think I know which one I'm gonna get. I'm sitting here playing act like I don't know. I think it's gonna be tornado season. I kind of ate with that. Y'all want to paint today? And finally, probably the most anticipated question of this entire video. What was my credit score when I applied to my home loan? At the time of applying for my home loan, my credit score was between a 715 and a 750, which greatly helped with the approval process. If you aren't aware, credit basically is just saying, do they pay their money back when somebody gives it to them? Credit score is made to be this big fat thing when it really doesn't need to be. My biggest advice to those, just pay off your credit stuff. Credit cards, pay your bills so it doesn't go to collections. Don't worry about the necessary points. Don't try to gain points. Just pay your your stuff off early or on time and you should be fine. There's always like this stuff about, oh, when I pay off a bill, it goes down some points. When I do it, it's like when you start micromanaging it, that's when it gets to be too much. Is it the easiest thing in the world? No, but fear mongering is horrible because no credit is worse than bad credit. Let's all just be calm. I technically am supposed to be installing my filters right now, but I don't wanna. Let's answer 2 more questions before we get up. Is it cheaper now with a mortgage or more than renting? When I bought my house, it was definitely cheaper. But now it's about the same, honestly, but at the same time, I can't even say it's not the same. Like, it's not the same thing because I put over $200,000 into this house. So in my opinion, owning a house is always gonna be more expensive than renting an apartment. But in terms of bill to bill basis, it's about the same as I would be paying for a 2-bed, 2-bath like I wanted to, which would be like in a high-rise floor to ceiling window. So I'm definitely getting a bang for my buck because I get basically like triple the space for the same price. So it's kind of a win-win. Don't get it twisted. If somebody's like, oh, it's cheaper, technically yes, but you had to save up the money to put the money down on the house, and sometimes appliances go bad. So it's just like, you need to stop that narrative. I don't know if I played into that narrative, but if I did, I apologize because it's never cheaper than renting technically. Favorite and least favorite parts of owning. I would have to say my favorite parts is the customization I get to have within my home. I get to paint without having to undo the paint in 365 days. I get to fill it up as much as I want. I get to start over as often as I want. It's fully custom. And I feel like my relationship with people who live near me, so my neighbors, are completely different than when I lived in an apartment. I actually have people looking out for me and being nice to me and actually saying hello and getting to know me, and it's nice having friendly faces in the neighborhood. Ever since I moved to the house, I'm way more open about people like spending the night because I know they're not gonna have to sleep in the same bed as me. In an apartment, everybody's kind of always in your face, but in a house, you kind of allow people to have their own like bubble, if that makes sense. And as somebody who needs to constantly reset from social interactions, even though I love my friends and everybody who comes and spends time at my house, everybody needs a reset from company, any type of social interaction. So love that as well. Least favorite parts, I would have to say HOA. I don't really like HOA. I understand why they're in place, I guess. Also, way back in January, I was like, yeah, my HOA went up and I don't know why. I got a budget breakdown. It took a while, but I got a budget breakdown. And essentially the bills keep going up, which is why the HOA is going up. So everybody's like, I would never move into a place with HOA. I wouldn't. Don't have my house out here looking crazy. Don't have my neighborhood out here looking crazy. I don't think I could ever live somewhere without HOA. As much as they get on my nerves, there are some good ones. I have really been getting back into my hobby bag since my trying like to become my best self still video, and I kind of talk about feeling lost and stuff. It turns out all I needed was Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler, a good book, and a new hobby. So there's that. I'm still reading The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I also recently started collecting a new thing. I started collecting Funko Pops. I recently got 3 new ones. I got a Spider-Man one, and then I got 2 Avatar: The Last Airbender ones. I got an Azula figurine and then a Zuko figurine. Hope to get some more because why would I stop there? I've been wanting to try like adult Legos for a really long time. I finally got one. My first one is the bonsai tree. I'm almost done. This is my first set that I'll complete, and of course I'll put it somewhere in the house. I want to finish this today because it's quite fun. Bonsai tree is pretty much structured. I just have to add the leaves. Let's go ahead and do it. I had someone ask me if I had any buyer regret when I bought my home, and I'm not gonna sit up here and lie. I have buyer regret like once a week, but not in the sense that I don't like having a house, more in the sense that I still am so early in my 20s. I fear sometimes I try to make a good decision first and live my life second. I often feel like I am going to change, and I don't know if I'm gonna live in North Carolina forever, and sometimes I wish I moved to a different city instead of settling down into a house so quickly to experience my 20s somewhere else. I don't think it was ever in the sense that I don't think I would ever buy a house, more in the sense that I didn't give myself a good fighting chance to experience somewhere else. before getting a house. And following up with this, I was also asked, do you see yourself moving to another city or state? And I am always going to say yes. I think the world is just so big for us not to experience it in as many ways as we can, whether that be traveling somewhere or living somewhere. And thankfully, with the flexibility of my job and you guys' continuous support, I basically can up and live wherever I want because my work is where I am. And I am just so grateful, and honestly, it's a blessing to have a job as flexible as this one, because if I didn't, it would be hell to up and move to a different city or state. Following up with that, I was also asked about how owning a home has influenced my content creation, and I'm not going to lie, a lot of YouTubers and content creators move because it's good for engagement. You basically get a new scenery every single year, which inherently makes your audience more engaged with your content because you're not seeing the same old every single video. I definitely think I hindered my engagement and ability to grow a little bit with buying a house, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, because just because I'm not moving from luxury apartment to luxury apartment or anything like that doesn't mean I can't showcase my current stage of life in a way that's realistic and exciting. What has been the most rewarding part of the process? I think the most rewarding part of this home buying process has truly just been finding who I am at my core. Although I love a moving vlog, I feel like a lot of the times if I were moving constantly, I wouldn't be able to sit down and really marinate in who I am and figure out who I am. I think when you're constantly moving around and looking for the next thing and the next thing and things like that, you're not really able to sit and ponder on what is instead of what could be. It's so easy to get wrapped up in what's the next biggest thing, how can my next place be better, instead of just sitting and enjoying where you are now. So I think this has definitely caused me to slow down in a sense, in terms of always looking for that next high in what am I gonna do now, what's next, like how am I gonna be here, what are we gonna do there, like that type of thing. That's personally how I am. It's personally how I feel. Okay, so our leaves are on. This is so cute. I don't know what it is, but Legos just make me go completely nonverbal. I don't know what it is. No way I'm talking and doing this. I will say, for this to be a new hobby, I am thoroughly enjoying myself. I just got out the most amazing shower. I don't think there's any better feeling than taking a shower and putting on some comfy PJs. This set is from the same place, Cozy Earth. Laundry's going, skincare's done, outfit for tomorrow's in the dryer. Like, I'm ready. Before I went to bed for the night, because I do have to get up early tomorrow for something to do with cashew, I decided it would be a good idea to answer just a few more questions that you guys had for me to kind of wrap up this video and finish off this day in my life as a homeowner. How do you budget and stay consistent with it? I really like to use the app Rocket Money. I have worked with them before, but before I worked with them, I actually was using it and paying the subscription service for it. And that basically allows me to have a quick glimpse into budgets, what I've been spending without having to go through my bank app, which is a lot less jarring in my opinion. Another thing that keeps me within my budget is the fear that I am going to go broke. I know we said we don't like fear mongering earlier, but in this case, it makes sense. Tips on keeping the house clean with a busy schedule. I personally don't have a schedule just because schedules feel really confining, and the second I miss a day or a segment or a blocked off time, I feel like a failure and I don't deserve to be here. So I think cleaning stuff as I go throughout my life and just kind of as I see fit. If something needs something or I notice that things aren't as nicely put together, I will just do it as I see it. Now, something I try to do every night is at least do my floors on my like common area floor. I have like a robot vacuum thing named Darius. We love Darius. That will do it for me. Seeing stuff as I do it and then automating stuff is a game changing. How did you know that you were mentally and financially ready to own a home? I, once again, think a lot of people think owning a home is a lot harder than it actually is. It's really nothing to like mentally prepare for. Now, if you have an older house that comes with more problems such as appliances giving out or HVAC needing replacing and things like that, I can see how that's mentally challenging. But honestly, all the stuff that involves replacing physical items can be fixed with better budgeting habits or saving more money. Financially ready, I was not able to maintain a life within a house. I simply would not do it just because why would I set myself up for that? That's like somebody buying $100,000 car, but they make $15,000 a year. Wherever there's a will, there's usually a way, but some things you just shouldn't do to yourself, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't have done anything that I knew I could not handle financially. Do you ever get overwhelmed with bills? How do you organize finances? The way I've actually handled my stress when it comes to bills is with Rocket Money, because they have this feature where you can like see what bills are coming out on what day based on like previous draft dates and like pull dates, whatever. That has helped my stress out a lot. I also wanted to go ahead and answer the question, do your neighbors / HOA treat you different because you're so young? I did mention my neighbors and how they all care for me. Not all of them, but a good amount of them will speak to me, make sure I'm okay and things like that. So I don't think it's necessarily an age thing. It's just like being genuinely kind and respectful type of thing. My HOA does not know me personally. I don't know what they got going on. They don't know what I got going on. So they don't know me, but my neighbors are always so sweet to me. I think it's time for me to go ahead and go to sleep. I have to get up early tomorrow because Cashew has to go to a very early vet appointment. He has to get his yearly cleaning tomorrow, and I have to drop him off at like 7. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. If you guys have any homeowner related videos or dedicated videos you want me to do, I'm trying to do my best to do it. If you guys like this video, I think you guys will like this one over here as well as this playlist, so you can follow my homeowner journey throughout my 20s, starting at day 1 when I bought my house. You have an amazing morning, evening, or night, wherever in the world, and I cannot wait to see you later. Bye guys.